Pro Wrestling Weekly. For over 20 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment radio talk.
Is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly.
The longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232.
You really do sound like a
grizzled old vet. Is that where you were going with there?
Yes.
To not get you in trouble?
Oh, I'll get in trouble at some point. Believe me, I'll do something.
Well, to keep you out of trouble in this case, at least.
And now, here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon and Lucas DeSangro.
Ooh, I'm getting good at this radio thing.
Yeah. It only took you 5.5 years.
I'm not good at it yet. I'm starting to.
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Slowest escalator upward.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon here with you in studio, and joining us via the phones, Lucas Twitch DeSangro.
Hello.
Because we're practicing safe radio social distancing or something.
You guys call it quarantine. I call it a normal Saturday. But enough about me.
Aw. I didn't know what else to say to that other than aw.
Well, I mean, for the sake of my mental well-being, you could have laughed, but, you know.
Well, I felt bad for you. Was I not supposed to?
At least maybe like a wince laugh. That could have at least. I mean, yeah, you can feel bad for me, but let's just move on. What's in the news today?
Awkward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's in the news? Man, it's been a pretty slow news week, I got to tell you. Now, what a week of twists, to say the least, thanks to the COVID conundrum.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's what we'll call this arc of episodes, the COVID conundrum series.
Well, last week it was all about health and safety, because I read so many statements that were about the concerns of the health and safety of the fans and wrestlers and everything of that nature. So I'd said it so many times, I was like, you know what? Health and safety, that's the title of the show.
Health and safety. Health and safety.
Yes. Exactly. It was said almost as much as the number 29 in a Royal Rumble promo.
Yeah.
29 other superstars, 20, yeah, okay. But, yes, to start off, WrestleMania, which is supposed to be 2 weeks from, it's supposed to be 2 weeks from tomorrow, but things have changed rather drastically. First, WWE kept the game of Event Human Chess going to try to keep WrestleMania on by issuing a press release Monday noting that, quote, in coordination with local partners and government officials, WrestleMania and all related events in Tampa Bay will not take place. However, WrestleMania will still stream live on Sunday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern on WWE Network and be available on pay-per-view. Only essential personnel will be on the closed set at WWE's training facility in Orlando, Florida to produce WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So we've gone from the grand gala pomp and circumstance to the equivalent of a children's puppet show. In terms of, all because, and this is not through any fault of WWE. This is not through, any governmental entity's fault. It's a pandemic. What can you do, But then things got a little more twisted. Almost M. Night Shyamalan-esque with the twists here. As WWE issued a press release on Wednesday announcing that WrestleMania for the first time ever would be held as a 2-night event, streaming on Saturday, April 4th and Sunday, April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern on WWE Network and available on pay-per-view. And this is where it gets a little press releasey. The 2-night pop culture extravaganza will be hosted by 3-time Super Bowl champion Rob Gronkowski. As previously announced, only essential personnel will be on the closed set during the production of WrestleMania.
Well, a host of WrestleMania, that's obviously essential.
Yeah, essential personnel. Here's now, and a lot of people think 2 nights. How the heck are they going to do that?
Well, Wrestle Kingdom did the same thing.
Exactly. Wrestle Kingdom they turned that, what was a grand event on January 4th each year, and they extended it to 2 days because it was getting a little too big for its britches.
Yeah, I can understand how that would, well, I mean, become such an international phenomenon. You know
global.
what I mean? Like, yeah, global. International Wrestling Grand Prix. You know, at this point, 2 nights in a row. And you also had the first ever, in at least the company's history of New Japan, the Double Gold Dash, where you had Tetsuya Naito defeat Kazuchika Okada to become the first ever double champion. First ever IWGP Intercontinental and Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. Is kind of the short of it there. Now here's
long story short, too late.
Yeah, exactly. What Clue? Okay, yeah, Clue reference here. So breaking the show into 2 nights, it seems a little strange. It seems a little unprecedented. It seems like, how do you kind of pause it in the middle, for lack of a better term? And those who aren't familiar with New Japan don't exactly know how to. Well, I mean, I guess it would be just 2 mini shows as opposed that are kind of 2 half shows, I guess, each with their own separate endings, with a giant, roughly 20-hour intermission in between. It's probably the best way to put it.
That's very well put, yeah.
Yeah,
I would say that's the only way to put it.
Well, here's how it's a good thing. It might be a precautionary measure that WWE's taking to limit the number of wrestlers and personnel from gathering in one place during the coronavirus outbreak.
Yes.
So you figure, all right, rather than have, 75 wrestlers, along with, a few referees, commentators, everything, have it add up to a good 120 people maybe. Break it up into 2 nights, and then you have half the wrestlers there each night.
Yeah.
So that limits the
sure
potential of exposure.
Well, I think that they were considering doing this before the COVID-19 outbreak, because WrestleMania in itself has become an all-day event,
Oh, I know. I was there in attendance at MetLife Stadium last year. That was a long day.
Like, the main event, that didn't go on until what, like
midnight-ish?
something? Midnight. Oh, midnight, yeah. So
yeah, because I know that we left around 12:30 a.m.
Yeah, and you stayed for the whole thing.
Yes. And then we had to deal with the backlash of the public transit. Not that we were taking public transit, but a lot of people who were waiting for public transit not being able to do so. That just added to the congestion that was already extremely congested. And, oh, by the way, it started raining around 1:30 in the morning.
Of course.
So those who were
It's
standing out, that was when it rains, it pours, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
But so because that was a 7.5-hour event. Break that up into 2 nights. It's a little less than 4 hours each, 3.5 hours each.
Still not as long as as both Godfathers, but at the same time, I see what you mean. Like 7.5-hour event. Wow. I understand the grand spectacle, but I do like the idea of maybe combining it into 2 nights. But at the same time, what happens with the Hall of Fame then? Would that be during the day?
Well,
maybe that would be the morning of. That would be nice.
That is one of the questions that has yet to be answered. They've just, they've only said that all related events in Tampa Bay will not take place. I would imagine they're going to postpone it to when, I'm not sure. And we'll get a little bit further into that here in the hour. Now, secondly, as far as why breaking it up into 2 nights is a good thing, we kind of went over, is that it could help prevent the event from feeling like it's dragging with so many matches. And remember, this is going to be a 0-fan setting, so you won't have an audience in attendance, so that it's been challenging enough to watch Raw or SmackDown in an empty arena, let alone a 7-hour slog with no fans, no chantings, no things of that nature. Although they have creatively aired noted events of past, like they had the Royal Rumble match earlier this week, and they had the Elimination Chamber, the men's tag match last night on SmackDown. So they've found ways to fill the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, they won't be able to do that
I'd
necessarily
still
with
say-
WrestleMania.
It's unfortunate, but it also, makes me think of at the Monster Factory. Sometimes during training, when we would have training matches, Danny Cage would tell all the other wrestlers that weren't having a match at that point, be fans. Grab a chair, sit down, be fans. And not in a tongue-in-cheek way, like cheer on the wrestlers. Boo the bag. This could be something that I think, considering you're at the Performance Center, this is something for the people that aren't wrestling and not necessarily on TV yet. Have them sit in the audience. Why not? Plus, you have the...
Here's why not. Because those particular wrestlers who wouldn't otherwise be on the show, do you consider them essential personnel? Like, remember, we're trying to keep the crowd gatherings as low as possible based on the COVID quarantine.
Yeah,
here.
but I would assume that's because in terms of the WWE universe, you have people coming from the UK, even then, the flights that have not been able to happen because of this outbreak. You have people that I would assume where they are, who they're coming in contact with the same people every single day, those at the Performance Center. So I don't understand why you couldn't have the people that train at the Performance Center if it's all emanating from one place and you're not having a lot of international outsiders coming in.
It's, as you can just, based on the discussions and thought here, it is a very tricky situation. I mean, I've heard some rumors that they may kind of go back to what they would do on SmackDown back a few years ago and just pump crowd noise in.
But no one's going to... You mean to tell me the entire crowd's going to be the Invisible Man?
Apparently. I mean, it's a thought at least. I'm sure they're weighing out all the options. So, yeah, now WWE hasn't made an official announcement regarding TakeOver in the Hall of Fame, but Georgia Smith did indicate that the company is planning to postpone the Hall of Fame event. More on that coming up.
And Georgia Smith is, for those who don't know, Georgia Smith is the daughter of the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith.
Yes. Now, additionally, I feel like that most of the hour is going to be just COVID talk. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what's. I mean, there's some other stuff that we'll try to have a little bit of fun with. We'll try to be lighthearted as best we can here, but there's a lot of serious stuff as well. Additionally, NXT was moved to the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida as well. Only essential personnel in attendance, and they did offer refunds for those who purchased tickets for the event originally scheduled at Full Sail Live.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that's come out of this that's rather interesting, we'll get to it on the other side, but a little bit of a collaboration that'll bring those who don't have the WWE Network a little bit of wrestling coverage on a more mainstream level over the course of the next couple of weeks. We'll get to that on the other side, plus some AEW news as well regarding Dynamite and future events, and even a little bit of positive news regarding the COVID-19.
Really?
Yeah, a little interesting tidbit there. Plus a bit of a correction from last week, as I guess I kind of got a little early on something in particular, and another Hall of Fame thing, some Twitter humor from one of your boys. I think you know the one.
Yeah, probably.
And a bit of an apology after a little bit of an error on Monday that certainly left, well, at least one individual rather sore. So all of that and a whole bunch more. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
All Chickies and Pete's favorites are a phone call away, and takeout beer as well. All call-in orders are 10% off, or click Uber Eats or DoorDash for home delivery. Tonight, make it Chickies and Pete's to go.
Hi, this is Dr. Lee Piccarello inviting you to tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. to The Head Game, a must-listen show for athletes and coaches of all levels and ages. Mindful Athlete Training in Newtown, Pennsylvania is a mental circuit training program that prepares the athletes to perform at the highest level of today's game. Athletes get into the zone faster and stay there longer. Tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. right here on WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.
The Bristol Borough Community Action Group Food Bank at 99 Wood Street in Bristol has been serving Lower Bucks County since 1971. It's your monthly tax-deductible donations that allow us to provide food for hundreds of households each month. Please consider a generous one-time or recurring monthly donation at www.givebucks.org. That's www.givebucks.org. Help us help those in need. Please donate today. The Bristol Borough Community Action Group, 99 Wood Street, Bristol, PA 19007.
Follow all your coronavirus updates at WBCBnews.com. Get the latest closures, information, and updates that directly affect the area you live in at WBCBnews.com.
Every local business needs an edge. You need a bank on your side that can help you find it. I'm Jean Vidoni, President and CEO of Penn Community Bank. We're proud of how hard we work to help businesses grow and prosper. And because we're truly local, we have a vested interest in making our region a better place to live and work. At Penn Community Bank, we provide the expertise of national banks while maintaining long-term relationships with local businesses. It's what makes us different. It's what gives you an edge.
It's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so we might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. I'm going to break something else during this commercial.
There we go.
All
That's
right.
what I like to see. And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside via the phone, Lucas Twitch DeSangro.
Hello.
Hello. It's, I feel like just the last couple of weeks has been pretty much nonstop.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah.
Just
tell me
nonstop. It feels that way. But we're trying to make the best of it here. So let's have at least a little bit of fun here at an unfortunate expense. We'll put it that way to start off with. So Steve Austin. This past Monday was 3/16 day. They still had that going on. Well, he ended up issuing a social media apology to Byron Saxton.
Yes.
After kicking him below the belt prior to a Stone Cold Stunner during Monday's Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tweeted, quote, "My sincere apologies to Byron Saxton for kicking him dead square in the... I don't know what hurts worse, his or my foot. I will go in for x-rays tomorrow. Byron, ice him down for 20 minutes every other hour. That's what Vince did. All the best. Hashtag 316 day."
Someone pointed out that it is essentially that episode of Raw was turning into the Eric Andre show with that segment, and pretty accurate. I don't know if you've ever seen the Eric Andre show, or at least snippets.
Snippets, yeah. That is an interesting comparison. Hey, at least Austin's response wasn't, a more corporate, sterile statement like this.
Send over a bottle of bubbly with a bucket of ice and a card. Have it say, "Tough break, get drunk on me. Use the bucket to ice down your marbles. Yours, Z."
Yeah,
Okay.
Tommy boy.
Yes. Tommy won Wingy. Tommy also won Ice Pack, apparently.
Yeah. Well, hey, any chance you can get... Amazing. Well, I guess not really amazing considering Dan Aykroyd's Canadian, but that he threw down like a perfect Michigan localism there.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Maybe a little over the top, but
I don't think it's that hard considering how close they are. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there are subtle differences though.
Not. I feel like those subtleties though, as long as you practice them enough, wouldn't be that hard to pick up on. You know what I mean?
There's a difference between, there are differences in localisms between people from Michigan and Minnesotans, for example, or those from Wisconsin. So, yeah, there's, but, yeah, that's why he's a pro actor and has been for decades.
Yeah.
Even though that was, oh gosh, was that 25 years ago now?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah, Barrett, that is a bit damning.
I have to retire after the show.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But looking in other news here, let's head over to All Elite for a little bit here. So, in addition to all the postponements from last week that we had talked about, All Elite Wrestling also announcing the postponement of their Dynamite show that was scheduled for April 15th in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh.
Yeah, they're looking out ahead of things here because that's 4 weeks from now. Better to plan ahead and at least have that good to go rather than scrambling at the last minute.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if, and I'm quickly looking to see if there's been any late announcement in the 11th hour here, but the following week, the 22nd, AEW is supposed to be here in Philadelphia at the Liacouras Center. So I was looking to see if perhaps there has been an announcement or update regarding a potential postponement of that, or if that's something that may come in the next week plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the moment it doesn't look as though I see anything. So as far as I know, they're just kind of waiting it out. As we all are here. Then we go to their official Twitter, as that's where a lot of things have been coming in. Oh, that's right. That was another interesting thing. That Cody Rhodes wants to hear from you. Apparently, he put his number out there to be texted and to get some feedback.
Yeah.
What kind of madman in wrestling would put their cell phone number out there?
I can think of a few. Savvy.
Yes, yeah. Danny Cage has been doing that for a long time. It is on the back of his car. But hey, he's doing it helps with the promotion. There's
oh yeah,
no question about that here.
Of course.
But they did note here from, at least courtesy of ShopAEW.com, that during the quarantine they are still accepting orders on ShopAEW.com. And notes here, we will try our hardest to get orders shipped as fast as possible, but we may experience delays longer than the normal 7 to 10 business day turnaround time. We appreciate your business and hope you understand our situation. At this point, if you don't understand the situation, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know what the people that are going to be throwing a hissy fit over this. I don't think they really understand the.
Yeah,
would have been funny if it wasn't so sad.
Thanks, Jim Cornette.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like my joke earlier.
Man, that's spot on. But yes, the event rescheduled for Wednesday, August 5th. That Boston show in the same venue, the Agnes Arena, and the company noting that live episodes of Dynamite would be produced on a closed set with essential personnel only until further notice. And pretty well done. As this past Wednesday, a couple of debuts that if only you had an audience to go with it, oh my goodness.
Right.
Yes, the exalted one of the Dark Order finally revealed as Brody Lee.
Yes.
Formerly known as Luke Harper.
Holy crud, yes.
I like it.
I like it too.
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
If anyone isn't familiar with Brody Lee's work before he came to WWE, he was all over the place. He was in Evolve. He was in Chikara. his matches. He had great matches with Moxley and Evolve and CCW. Look him up.
Yeah.
You will not be disappointed.
You have an internet. There's time now.
And there are free matches of his.
But then at the very end of Dynamite, something that we kind of saw coming, or dare I say, I knew he'd come.
Yeah.
Yes, broken Matt Hardy in All Elite Wrestling.
Yes, broken, not woken.
Yes, broken is back.
And it's beautiful.
It most certainly is. And, what we thought was going to make for an interesting dynamic for Blood and Guts, however, AEW President Tony Khan issued a statement on AEW's social media yesterday announcing that the Blood and Guts match, the name isn't the greatest, but it's their version of War Games because WWE has that trademark and copyright and all that kind of sopped up like they do. But yes, the double ring cage, it's more like the traditional one from the NWA days. And the Blood and Guts reference to Vince McMahon's kind of shade-throwing comments during one of the quarterly financial reports referring to AEW being nothing but blood and guts.
Yeah.
So it's not quite naming a servant Virgil, but it's up there as far as shade throwing.
Yeah. Is that so? Could you consider that a hit by the Meat Sauce Mafia?
Jeez. No, we've having gone to the grocery store within the past week. We've had enough pasta mania, brother. Yeah, there's multiple layers to that one. Of course, referring to the various things sold out of the grocery stores and Hulk Hogan's brief venture into pasta mania back in the mid-'90s.
Yes.
Little restaurant type thing. But yes, the Tony Khan statement reading, "Our goal every week with AEW Dynamite on TNT is to produce great shows for our fans, and I believe we do. We felt especially motivated to serve our audience this past Wednesday night given what the entire world is coping with, and hopefully we gave them a well-deserved escape during these trying times. Everyone at AEW is very proud of what we delivered and humbled by the response and the kind words we've received from fans and partners throughout the world. Thank you. We plan to continue answering that calling with live weekly shows every Wednesday night on TNT, but the time and circumstances aren't right for the card we had planned next week for Blood and Guts. That show will happen when the time is right, but what you can count on instead this coming Wednesday night is a great live episode of AEW Dynamite featuring Chris Jericho confronting Matt Hardy face-to-face, one-on-one for the first time ever."
Right? That's going to be fun. If you guys get the chance, also, another thing you can look up and Google at this point in time, well, after the show, obviously, is the Talk is Jericho podcast, where Chris Jericho had broken Matt Hardy on the podcast in full broken Matt Hardy character. This is back when he was still with Impact, and it's a very interesting, another very interesting listen.
Yeah, so when it comes to face-to-face encounters, podcasts don't count.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of separate.
No, I'm saying for the laughs and such, that'll be fun. I'm sure the face-to-face encounter will be a lot more serious.
Yes, definitely.
But just for stiffs and giggles,
Stiffs and giggles, I like that.
Thank you.
Now, a press release. Feels like this is nothing but press releases. But I mean, what else can there really be? I don't know. But a press release issued yesterday as well announcing that ESPN will be airing classic WrestleMania events over the next 3 Sundays.
Ooh.
Yes, it says ESPN, in collaboration with WWE, announced it is airing encore presentations of historic WrestleMania events over the next 3 Sundays on ESPN and streaming via the ESPN app.
Have they announced what WrestleManias they will be?
Yes.
Ooh.
It'll be 4, 9, and 11. No, that's...
Oof.
No, they wouldn't dare do that.
Would they, though?
No, I picked 3 of the worst ones. That's what I was kind of going for there for this.
I know. That's why I went.
Yes. Well, for those unfamiliar, 4 was the tournament, the title tournament with Macho Man Randy Savage. 9 was the toga party in Caesar's parking lot.
Yes.
Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada. And 11 was in Hartford, Connecticut, and featured Lawrence Taylor in the main event. Yes, football's
Yeah, but that
Lawrence
match,
Taylor.
from what we've discussed, that match has...
Oh, no, that match was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
And that's why there have been discussions even recently about the least liked WrestleMania of all time, and my hat's in the ring for 9, but a lot of people say 11 was worse.
Well, I think that overall, the show was awful.
Yeah, the Bret Hart and Bob Backlund in the match. It was supposed to be an I Quit match. I don't know how else to describe it. It was an I Quit match, but Roddy Piper apparently heard that somewhere in.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, go back and watch that on the network. That should be available for free because that would be getting your money's worth. But yeah, no fans of the Allied Powers, Lex Luger and the British Bulldog against Jacob and Eli Blue.
The only thing I'm a fan of in that sense was the amount of selling that Luger was doing, or the yelling that Luger was doing.
The yelling selling, yeah. Thank you, OSW Review.
Yes. Oh.
But no, so they actually have a little description for each one of them, so I'm going to go ahead and get those here for you. So firstly, the Special Content Initiative begins this Sunday, March 22nd. It's tomorrow night, at 7 p.m. Eastern with the airing of WrestleMania 30.
Ooh, that's a great one, too.
Yeah, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Hulk Hogan, and Stone Cold Steve Austin kick off the, WWE math, 30th anniversary of the Showcase of the Immortals before a record-breaking crowd at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, home of the New Orleans Saints. Former UFC heavyweight champion...
Wait, are you sure it wasn't the Silverdome?
It didn't mention it. It did not mention that here in the press release.
So just making sure.
Well, at least you are. Hogan didn't.
Yeah.
Too soon?
No.
No, it's been
not
6
soon
years.
Enough.
But yes, it says, former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar attempts to end the most celebrated streak in WWE history, Undertaker's 21 consecutive victories at WrestleMania. Witness the emotional culmination of Daniel Bryan's Yes movement in a championship triple threat match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Randy Orton and Batista.
Yeah.
They picked a pretty good one.
Yeah. Wondering which one they're going to show next.
Well, I have that information for you right here.
Ooh.
Yeah. So next Sunday, March 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, the largest crowd in WWE history filled Jerry World at AT&T Stadium for WrestleMania 32. As more than 101,000 fans witnessed the show of shows.
You know, maybe they should have just shown the first half of that match, or of that show. Whew.
Well,
because I'm not going to lie, the first half of that show, actually, no, most of that show was great. But the 3 marquee matches, a bit disappointing.
Well, as you can see with this press release, it's very ESPN-ish as they find ways to incorporate sports fans who aren't as wrestling-centric into the mix.
I'm sure the casual fan will enjoy it, yeah.
Well, or in the same way, you know, they're cross-promoting. So those wrestling fans who aren't as familiar with, say, football, Mercedes-Benz Superdome, home of the New Orleans Saints. Or, you know, AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. You know, they mentioned that in there. Roman Reigns takes on Triple H for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the main event.
Just make sure you turn the sound off, or hopefully they'll edit it profusely. I'm serious.
Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks in a match to crown the first ever WWE Women's Champion of this era.
That was a banger.
It was a banger.
Yeah.
It says the world-famous Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders welcome The Rock to AT&T Stadium.
Yep.
And Shane McMahon stuns the WWE Universe with a death-defying leap in his Hell in a Cell match against The Undertaker.
You know, that was the only one that didn't completely... Oh, no, the Triple H Roman Reigns match wasn't terrible either, but it just didn't help that the crowd wasn't on their side.
No. Not even a little bit. Trying to think, that was what, 2016?
Yes.
32, yeah.
Because especially when you had to follow the night before the match, the takeover card, where it's so that Nakamura Sami Zayn match was so good that like matches the next night kind of that was the talk of the entire weekend.
Yeah, it definitely filled the gap, that's for sure. So finally, no, not another The Rock has come back thing, although it seems like they did mention The Rock in a lot of those, because it's a good go-to at this point. But finally, on Sunday, April 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, for those who want to make WrestleMania that all-day experience, WrestleMania 35 at MetLife Stadium features a significant moment in WWE Women's evolution as the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey, takes on Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in a winner-take-all triple threat match for the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships, marking the first time women were the main event at WrestleMania. It also notes Kofi Kingston finally gets a shot at realizing his lifelong dream of becoming WWE Champion against Daniel Bryan, and Batista faces his one-time friend and mentor Triple H in a no-holds-barred match.
Yeah.
I have to admit, talking about it, if they had split WrestleMania last year into two nights and finished Saturday night with Kofi winning the WWE Championship,
that would have been amazing.
I think that would have been a great benefit to that event, because I think that there was a lot of fatigue. I know there was a lot of fatigue. I was there.
Yeah.
Although I didn't buy the I was there t-shirt that they usually have at those things.
Did you see the shirt that they're releasing this year for WrestleMania? Or is that at all in our notes?
I do not have this. Is it something like I wasn't there or no one was there?
No, it is. It says I wasn't there.
And this is a WWE released shirt?
Yes. I really hope people don't get upset over that, because they need to take in all seriousness, that's great. I wholeheartedly endorse that. That's fantastic.
I definitely don't hate it. No, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely okay with it. And something else that I've got to be okay with is taking another time out, so we're going to do that and then come back and we'll talk a little more COVID conundrum, because it's unavoidable at this point. And we'll get into some other better stuff as well. There's a lot still to do here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Here's another What's It Worth Antique Minute. Brown is down is a phrase being repeated quite frequently in the auction and home downsizing world. But what exactly does it mean? Brown is down is a phrase many auctioneers use when discussing brown furniture. Whether cherry, mahogany, walnut, or oak, whether Empire, Victorian, Depression, or Pennsylvania House, the price on most brown furniture is down today, and not bringing nearly what it did 5, 10, 20 years ago. Why? The younger generation simply doesn't like it the way their parents and grandparents did. And as more seniors are liquidating their brown furniture, there are fewer buyers for it. And as a result, prices have been plummeting with no end in sight. What's it worth? For example, a cherry Pennsylvania House dining room set with table, 8 chairs, hutch, and buffet in perfect condition recently sold for $325 at a very reputable local auction house. After the auction commission and delivery fee, the family netted around $200. Auctioneer, appraiser, and home downsizing expert Mike Ivankovich hosts What's It Worth? Ask Mike the Appraiser radio show. And you can tune in on Friday mornings on WBCB 1490 or on the internet at WBCB1490.com.
We all have the ability to touch the lives of those around us. To someone going through a difficult time, a text, a call, or a visit can mean so much. Reach out to the veterans in your life today. Let them know they're not alone. One simple act can make all the difference. That's the power of one. If you're a veteran in crisis or know one who is, visit veteranscrisisline.net for free 24/7 confidential support.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, March 21. On this date in 1999, ECW held its Living Dangerously pay-per-view. In the main event, Taz pinned Sabu to unify Taz's ECW World Heavyweight Championship and Sabu's FTW Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2005, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Birmingham, Alabama. In the main event, Batista pinned Kane in a no disqualification lumberjack match. On this date in 2010, TNA held its Destination X pay-per-view. In the main event, AJ Styles fought Abyss to a no contest in a match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. This has been Today in Wrestling History, March 21.
You are listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon Derry.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Lucas Twitch DeSangro via the telephone because...
Hello.
Safety.
Yes.
Health and safety, yes. We talked about it ad nauseum last week, which defeats the purpose of health because being nauseous is not healthy.
Not at all.
It's all full circle. So, yeah, the COVID stuff. Now, the announcement we were talking about beforehand, the ESPN collaborating with WWE and airing past WrestleManias, it's a win-win for WWE in terms of exposure, because they love that ESPN mainstream exposure, and it's a win for ESPN because they're looking for content with no live sports taking place right now.
Yeah.
Like, normally they'd be, deep in the trenches of hockey season, basketball season. Yeah, Major League Baseball would have normally been set to start next week. None of that.
No.
Now, it also begs the question, is this leading to something bigger with WWE and ESPN, given that McMahon teased the idea of selling pay-per-view rights to a streaming partner? Yeah, could this be... Yeah, I mean... It's hard to say, and I think this also was planned prior to everything going on with the pandemic, so I think that's thrown a lot of plans awry, but yeah, sometimes that necessity is the mother of innovation or something like that.
Yes, I suppose.
And, well, innovation can lead to a good thing, like in this case, AEW Dynamite's host venue's parking lot being used as a coronavirus testing center. Yeah, the parking lot of TIAA Bank Stadium will be used as a mobile testing center for the coronavirus in Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry announcing that health experts intend to test over 1,000 people per day by the end of next week. So that is some fantastic news.
Yeah.
As we all just kind of hunker down on this. Now, I want to give a little bit of a correction from last week, as I thought that, since this is pretty much definitely the last time I'll be able to play this for a long while.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the XFL!
Yeah, I thought that they had announced that they were done, but apparently they had just suspended the regular season, hoping to start back in time for the playoffs. However, now that's not the case. The XFL officially canceled the remainder of its 2020 season yesterday. XFL Commissioner Oliver Luck saying in a statement, quote, "The COVID-19 pandemic and the most recent local and state regulations have left the XFL no choice but to officially cancel the remainder of the 2020 season. This decision has been made with the health and safety of the entire XFL family as our top priority."
Oh.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Well, it would have been interesting to see how the XFL would have fared against all these other sports that were, against March Madness and with Major League Baseball coming into the fray. But like many a Philadelphia sports fan would say, maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe.
So this is interesting. Daniel Bryan, he stated on the Bella's podcast that he will be taking 6 weeks of paternity leave once his wife Brie Bella gives birth in August.
Ooh.
Now, Bryan noted that his WWE deal will expire a short time after that and that he intends to scale back to working once a month or so. So kind of going that part-time wrestler, part-time.
Nice.
Now, will that be with WWE or might it favor somebody else? Interesting.
I don't know.
We'll have to see. WWE announcing at the Madison Square Garden live event that was scheduled for tomorrow. That'll now be held on Saturday, June 27th. And a note on the MSG website says that tickets for tomorrow's show will be honored on that makeup date. Yeah. Other cancellations, Ring of Honor. They issued a statement Tuesday regarding the pandemic stating, quote, "Pursuant to the latest updates regarding COVID-19, known as the coronavirus, and in strong consideration of the government's mandate limiting large gatherings for the next 8 weeks, we are canceling all ROH live events through May 31st, 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, it goes on to say, "We appreciate your understanding through these difficult times as we come together as a planet to do our part in slowing and helping stop the spread of this virus. We encourage all fans to avoid large crowds, practice social distancing, and adhere to the continuously updated guidelines of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, and the World Health Organization, the WHO. Tickets purchased for all events will be refunded at the earliest possibility. In most cases, refunds should appear within 3 to 7 business days, but please allow for potential delays due to volume at our ticketing partners and possible delays in processing at various banks. As the pandemic progresses, ROH will continue to provide timely updates related to live touring plans."
Wow.
Yeah. Now, I didn't mention it, I did mention it earlier, but didn't mean to gloss over it. Georgia Smith revealing via social media that she was informed that the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony would be postponed. She had added that WWE hopes to hold the event during SummerSlam weekend. WWE yet to make any official announcement. Now, Smith's father, Davey Boy Smith, will be inducted as a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2020, as will, announced this week, Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yes.
Yes, that was announced on Monday, and even though his time with the WWE was very brief, one match I want to say, a few years ago with NXT, but yes, he had a lot of time in WCW, and but he has had significant contributions to professional wrestling, and I think it's a nice idea, nice touch to go with that international.
He is a name that transcends any company. In my opinion, he is someone who, I think someone brought up, we throw around the name legend a little too much sometimes, but he is someone who, he is a wrestler who is truly deserving of that moniker, a legend, because he is.
Most
he
certainly.
Is beloved throughout the entire industry. Yeah.
Yeah, Liger joins Batista, the NWO, the Bella Twins, JBL, and the aforementioned Davey Boy Smith in this year's class. We don't know when or where it's going to happen, though, the Hall of Fame ceremony, since the Tampa-related WrestleMania events have all been moved, nixed, etc., as they were supposed to happen 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, basically. Also, the National Wrestling Alliance, the NWA, they're suspending live events until June as well. A statement on their website reading, the National Wrestling Alliance, given the uncertain course of this world health crisis, is suspending normal operations until June as far as any live performances. This includes the upcoming Atlanta, Georgia events, Crockett Cup pay-per-view on April 19th at the Gateway Center Arena, and our NWA Power tapings at GPB Studios on April 20th and 21st.
Oh.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, right?
Yeah.
And I'd mentioned AEW doing rather well as far as their production, and the Wednesday Night Wars Week 25 went decidedly to AEW. Their viewership increasing compared to last week, NXT's falling from the week prior. AEW had 932,000 viewers this week, up from 766,000 last week. NXT fell to 542,000 from the 697,000 last week. That's a difference of almost 400,000 viewers.
Yeah. That's, wow.
Significant.
That's a hit.
Yeah, AEW finishing 20th in that coveted 18 to 49 demographic, NXT finishing 81st in the same category. And AEW up overall in the head-to-head battle 20-4 with one tie. Feels so weird saying that, one tie. It's like classic hockey or the ever rare NFL tie. You don't usually see that.
Not at all.
They need to recount that week. I need a definitive, who actually won. It couldn't have been an exact, I don't know. All right, we've got a few minutes left here. That means it's time for...
Birthdays!
Well played. All right, we've got one, and we had to dig for this one, and 4 Brucey bonuses. So firstly, on this date in 1972, Christopher Barrett Candido was born. The former WWF Tag Team Champion, 3-time ECW Tag Team Champion, and WCW Cruiserweight Champion, known as Skip of the Body Donnas, as well as Chris Candido. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2005 at the age of 33 due to a blood clot. Yeah, post-surgical blood clot that it was very unfortunate. Now the Brucey bonuses. Yeah, there wasn't much in the world of wrestling. On this date in 1945, Rosemary Stewart was born. The singer and keyboardist known as one of the lead singers in the band Sly and the Family Stone, better known as Rose Stone, turns 75 today.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. On this date in 1959, Nobuo Uematsu was born. The Japanese composer best known for his contributions to the Final Fantasy video game series by Square Enix, sometimes referred to as the Beethoven of video games music, he turned 61 today. Those are some pretty doggone good. I have a few of the soundtracks, 6 and 7 specifically, and they are really good. On this date in 1962, Roseanne O'Donnell was born. The comedian, actress, author, and television personality from The View and Rosie O'Donnell Show, known professionally as Rosie O'Donnell, she turns 58 today. And also on this date in 1962, Matthew John Broderick was born. The actor, comedian, and singer from roles in movies like The Producers and the Broadway play of the same name, The Lion King, War Games, Glory, Bueller, yes, Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well. He turns 58 today. Oh my gosh, Matthew Broderick is Ferris Bueller's 58.
Bueller.
How the hell does it? Well, I know how it happens. It's just wow.
Time, bro.
Time. It's a benefit and a detriment to us all. And speak of that, we are out of time here. And one thing that I do want to let you know is that, due to everything that's been going on here, I will be going on a hiatus because of the coronavirus. So this will be the last Pro Wrestling Weekly until the crisis is over. I'm not sure when I'll be back. There's even a slight question as to if I'll be back. Well, maybe that's my own questioning. I don't know. But it's hard to say how this is going to go. But it's kind of an interesting twist that this falls exactly 11 years to the day that I took over this program. March 21st, 2009. And here we are 11 years later, and I'm hoping that this is not a farewell, but just a so long for now. But there's so much that is uncertain. But Lucas, thank you so much for the last 6.5 years. It's been a blast.
Thank you. This is, I really hope that we can come back from this.
I think we can. But for now, Teddy Falls up next with the Country Roads. Play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock in All's Well.
Sunshine Music Memories with smiling Lou Powers. Mid-morning.